to the interview room. Muzzy checking in, the time's here. How you all doing? Alright, let's begin. Let's have a chat about the fact that I want to interview the best fighters in the world, and that's that. Had a lot of guests from everywhere, all across the globe.
How are we, boys and girls? Mudzy here from Muay Thai Interviews again. My next guest I'm really excited to chat with. He's a current reigning and defending King in the Ring welterweight champ. He's looking to keep his crown and ensure no one takes it off him. He trains and fights out of City Kickboxing Gym in Auckland, but he's also head trainer with his partner at Smack Gym. His family have a rich history in fighting, with his partner and her siblings also being very prominent people in the combat industry in New Zealand. I'm joined by the man himself, Sam the Shank Hill. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Mate, thanks for taking the time to have a chat with me. How is it in New Zealand? Is it as cold as what it is here in Perth?
Yeah, it's getting colder now, so winter's getting close.
It's probably colder in New Zealand. I'm probably just being a bit of a pussy, but I can't handle the cold at all, mate. I say if you need to wear a jumper, it's way too cold. So I thought I'd ask, mate, how did you get the nickname the Shank?
Well, I got it on my first elbow fight. My sister-in-law, who was my trainer at the time, Victoria, she she said to me she's got a nickname for me if I do well in this fight, and I actually ended up just throwing elbows the whole time, and I cut the guy a few times, and then after my fight she gave me the Shank, and that's when Sam the Shank came about. So.
It's a good nickname, and Victoria seems to be doing wonderful things for not only New Zealand combat sports, but women in combat sports. I believe she's the first female to ref in King of the Ring, so that's making moves.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
So, can you tell me how you found fighting, and was it something you knew you always wanted to do?
Well, since I was maybe started in like intermediate years, I suppose at first I wanted to do boxing, and then so I was at boarding school and getting into lots of fights and things, and really I just wanted to, know how to protect myself, and so boxing was always it. But then as soon as I left school, I looked for a kickboxing gym, and then found Smack Gym and started from there.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask you. So, was I correct at the start when I mentioned that you do train out of the City Kickboxing Gym, but you and your partner, Baby Nansen, you both run Smack Gym and you're head trainers there?
Yes, yeah. We both fight out of City Kickboxing now. We've been there for over a year. So that's the gym we represent when we fight, but we also head trainers and run Smack Gym. We've been doing that for about a year now. Tori and Francis handed it down to us, so yeah.
You guys must be quite busy, raising your kids, and then training out of City Kickboxing, and then when you're not training, you're at the other gym, Smack Gym, being trainers yourselves. How do you guys work that so it all works and that everything gets all done?
We have a bit of a routine. To be honest, Baby, my partner, she does pretty much most of the training and things at Smack.
Yep.
I'll be home with the kids doing their homework and cooking and getting their lunch ready for the next day. And then when that's all done, I'll drop them to the gym, to Smack Gym with Baby, so she could do her fighters classes, and then the kids would just hang out at the gym, and then I'd shoot to the city, do my training, and come back. And usually she'll do her training in the city in the morning, so when I head to work.
Mate, you guys must be one hell busy family. Do you have time for yourselves and each other?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we would like more time, but I mean, we're happy. This is the life that keeps us happy and sane, I suppose. When we're not training and fighting and things, we do go a bit nuts, and yeah.
It is true, mate, because I've had this conversation with many people, and we all not only is fighting great for your your physical state and keeping your body in shape, but it's also very very good for your mental state.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
oft,
definitely.
I
Yeah,
often find that when I train, I mean at the time you hate it because you're getting flogged and you're getting drilled and you're just like this sucks. But you go and have a shower and you feel bloody good, and the next day your endorphins are flying, and
yeah,
it really does do wonders for your endorphins and for your mental state. I can't stress that enough.
yeah, yeah.
And with you and your partner both being prominent figures in the New Zealand fighting community, not to mention her side of the family being well established also, do you think your twins will follow in their parents' footsteps?
Yeah, well, one of them wants to, but oh yeah, I mean, I'll leave that up to them when they get older. But me personally, I don't want them to fight. I'd
Yeah.
rather them, like, be lawyers or something, or yeah, save their brain cells. Yeah, yeah, I don't think I want them to fight. But
Yeah.
if they want to, I'm not going to stop them from it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a sort of like the old saying, the parents fight so the kids don't have to fight.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And how do you deal with obviously when your partner's fighting? How do you deal being in her corner? Do you sort of have to separate, you know, um, trainer or from partners mentality sort of thing?
Yeah, yeah. I try my best to. Um, it's yeah. I mean, I've gotten a lot better. I used to be a mess before when I used to have to watch her fight and things.
Yeah,
I couldn't even be in her changing room and that.
yeah.
But now I'm a lot better. So yeah, I do try to take away that partner's hat. But um, yeah, yeah,
I suppose you both have been, with each other for a while, and you've both been fighting. That you would learn to deal with each other and understand when your partners need some words of encouragement or they need you to be around them, and in other times when you just want to be by yourselves and alone with your own thoughts and
yeah,
process.
yeah, yeah.
Now, mate, I wanted to say I first became an instant fan of yours when I watched you win the King in the Ring 8-man back in 2017. And then when I also found out that just 1 month prior to that, you also won a 4-man, I was completely blown away. And especially like
Hmm.
when you were giving your interview at the end when you won, you were just so hell chilled out and relaxed. You looked like you could have gone another bloody 9 rounds. You would have been insanely fit and in supreme peak physical condition back then. So can you tell me how you prepared for both those events? And is there anything that you like? How you do anything differently? Training for tournament styles and Grand Prix styles as opposed to just training for like a single fight.
Yeah, well, I upped the rounds in my pad work. So I was doing a lot more rounds in pads, and yeah, that's basically. I was doing my strength and conditioning.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so yeah, that was pretty much it. And yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm just receiving a call from someone. I'm just waiting for the beeping to stop.
No, you're right, mate.
Oh, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, nah, yeah, I was getting lots of pad work and really, really intense pad work and more rounds. So instead of doing like 7 or 8, I'd go to 12, do
Yep.
12, and um, yeah. And I remember times training for that when baby would was holding for me sometimes. So I'd run out and spew, and then she'd be screaming at me to come back to the pads because the round's still going. So I'm running back, dry reaching, doing my pads, and then running back outside, spewing, and then back to the pads. And yeah, that was a pretty insane prep, that one. Yeah.
I've even spoke to a lot of people, or some people that say they try to mimic a tournament. So they'll do like 3 rounds on the pads, then they'll go and sit down and cool down completely, then go and do another 3 rounds on the pads, sit down, cool down, sort of like to mimic, the tournament style when you're not fighting and then when you're fighting again.
Yeah.
Have you ever incorporated anything like that into your training?
Yeah, well, I did for the first time I prepped for the 8 man for the 62 one. I did that kind of format
Yeah.
training. Um, yeah, and that works. Yeah, that's yeah, that works. I just found the last prep I just found it was easier just to get all my rounds done in the one go, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't blame you. I get like
yeah,
that at training too. You just want to
yeah,
get it over and done with.
yeah. Get home to the kids.
Especially when they tell you to partner up and you partner with a partner and one does the rounds on the pads and the other holds. I try and do the pads first so I can get it over and done with.
Yeah. I'm the
Um,
same.
yeah, and I believe after the 4 man, you were going to fight on the 8 man rebellion back in November of 2017 because you earned a spot on that card, but you had some issues you had to deal with which prevented it from happening. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Well, one of my daughters, my twins, Levine, she got a cut under her foot, and got infected and went into her bloodstream. She got osteomyelitis.
Yeah.
So she ended up in hospital for 2 weeks and had multiple surgeries and things.
Oh, that's no good.
So yeah, so I couldn't do any training. I was in hospital pretty much the whole time for that.
Well,
Yeah.
I hope I hope if Sai or any other Aussie promoters are listening that they definitely get you back at some stage sooner rather than later because I'd definitely love to watch you come and fight in Australia and see you take on some of Australia's best.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah,
Um,
that'll be cool.
yeah, man, definitely would be. And prior to that event, like you just touched on it, you fought on King in the Ring, and early on in your career when you were a bit smaller and a bit younger and still developing at 62 kilos. And I watched an interview you did on the Moldy TV where you talk about weight cutting, and you would eat clean 6 weeks out from the fight. 8 weeks out from the fight. For the first 6 weeks, you would eat clean, and then pretty much for the last week or two, you would starve yourself. Since
Yeah.
since then, given that you would be better informed about weight cutting, and you've obviously had a lot of experience between now and then, do you approach weight cutting differently?
Yeah, a lot different now. Back then I didn't have as much knowledge in the whole cutting weight,
Yeah,
and I thought it'd be better just to eat like zero carbs, sugar, and all that for a good 2 weeks and just keep my weight down,
yeah.
or even 4 weeks. But I mean that was a big cut, so I went was pretty extreme trying to cut for that one.
How much weight
But
did you cut back then?
while I was walking around, like 70 kilos,
Yeah,
72
yeah,
at my heaviest, so that was maybe a good 10 kilos over an 8 week period.
yeah.
And yeah, that's far too much. Like now I'm fighting at 68. It's way easier walking around at 74, 75 when I'm binging. Yeah, like it's a lot easier to make 60, 68.
So now, what's your preferred method of weight cutting?
Now actually eating more often, just smaller portions, good carbs that give me fuel for training. Um, yeah, that's basically it. I've got a nutritionist who's given me an eating plan and kind of showing showing me the way to do it,
Yeah,
and yeah, that's helped heaps, helped big time.
I suppose like training at City Kickboxing with all the other world class fighters, you'd all be sitting there sharing tips and what
Yeah,
works and what
yeah,
doesn't.
definitely. Yeah, that's another thing actually is learning from those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're all like Eugene. He's and Doug. They got a lot of knowledge, and even like Brad Riddell and things. He
yeah,
helps me out a lot with that kind of thing.
yeah.
Gives me a lot of tips. So yeah,
And not only have you pretty much fought the who's who of your weight division in New Zealand, you've also fought K1 in Japan. You fought in China, I think, 4 times, and also Hong Kong. What were those experiences like? And have you got any other countries or promotions that you got your eyes on?
yeah. That was cool fighting over there. I enjoyed it. It's a good experience. And the crowd's pretty crazy. They love they love the sport. So everyone's trying to take photos with you, make you feel like a bit of a superstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some promotions would like. I would like to go back to China. I definitely want to go back to the K1. That's one of my biggest goals.
Yep.
So I just want to do well, beat some big names, and then hopefully get back in the K1. Then then there's like glory and things, but I'm not too fussed about glory.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently they don't pay too well, so I think I'd rather stick to China and K1 and things.
Yeah, I think it was like a year or two ago. I posted up a thing they released the fight purses for a glory event, and it was terrible, man.
Yeah, yeah. I have heard it's pretty bad. So, and then you're fighting some top guys too.
Yeah, you want to make it worth your while.
Yeah, definitely.
And what about one? One seems that they've got the
yeah,
kickboxing series as well as the Muay
Yeah,
Thai.
yeah. I'd love to get on there. So, I mean, there's a few shows that I'd love to get on. Just need to do well and win some big fights and yeah.
Yeah, mate, awesome. And you continue to help grow the sport in New Zealand. So how have you seen kickboxing and Muay Thai evolve over the years?
Well, I think it's gone, like trainers and fighters have got a lot more knowledge, I suppose, from, as the years go on, they're learning more and more
Yep.
about different ways, better ways to do things, I suppose. And then we got bigger promotions coming along, like you got the King in the Ring, which has done heaps for the New Zealand fight sport.
Yep.
Yeah, just things like that.
So there's some things that you're happy about. What are some things that you think could still do with a bit of improving?
I think maybe, Well, I think the weight cutting thing's pretty cool, like what they're doing on King in the Ring. I think maybe more promoters could do that just to make sure you're not fighting giants who are like cutting big amounts of weight and things.
Yeah.
So like in King in the Ring, they're doing weight checks regularly. We're having them every week at the moment, and
Hydration tests and all that sort of stuff?
yeah, well, not hydration tests, just weight tests we're doing. Just have to send in like a video of your weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty good because it stops people from, cutting big amounts of weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, I think that's about it.
With that weight cutting, so how does that work? Does that say like what? So what? 8 weeks out, you're at a certain weight, and you can only you've got to lose a certain amount of weight each week, or you can't lose more than so many kilos in a week or two. How does that actually work?
Oh, well, it's just I mean like so the fight weight's 68 kilos.
Yep.
A month out, we had a weight check. We couldn't be any more than 74.8.
Okay. Yep.
And then 2 weeks out, which was the Friday just gone, we had to be 72.1, no more than that.
Yep.
And then this Friday coming, so we've got to be 71.1. And then the Friday after, 68. So I think it's just monitoring your weight every week, just to, ensure, you're keeping control of it and not doing extreme weight cuts, especially with those deaths and things happening.
Yeah, man, I was going to say that's a really good idea that they've implemented because, yeah, as you just said, yeah, we had a poor girl from Australia pass away last year, I think it was, due to
that young girl.
Yeah, she was only an amateur. I think she'd only had like 1 or 2 or 3 fights, something like that.
Well, I think that's why they did it. It was a young girl in Australia who passed away from it. So,
Yep.
yeah.
and then there was another guy. You probably heard of him, Jordan Coe, over in Thailand.
The
He's
Scottish guy.
Scottish fella. Yep, he passed out going for a run in his sweatsuit.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's sad.
yeah, man, it is. And now, mate, getting on to the good stuff. Being the current King in the Ring welterweight champ, you've got a target on your back because 7 other guys want what you have, which is your belt. I watched your
Yeah.
fight from the other month against arguably the other top contender in the division, Kane Conlon. I know he's not fighting in this particular King in the Ring 68 one, and that was also in a Muay Thai fight, which suits his style more. Are you looking to avenge that loss, given kickboxing is your game, and you guys have fought each other 3 times already? Well, you've drawn once, and you've both won one apiece. Are you looking to have a rematch somewhere down the line to get that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I definitely want a rematch. Yeah, I definitely want to rematch it. We've we both fought 3 times, so but yeah, losing the last one, just yeah, it's pretty hard to deal with losing that title. So I do want a rematch and you get it back. I feel I could do a lot better. Yeah.
So, how many times have you both fought Muay Thai against each other, and how many times kickboxing?
Well, our first fight was modified Thai, so
Yep.
no elbows, because we
Yep.
were amateurs. And that was when we drew. The second fight was K1 rules on King in the Ring.
Yep.
That was the one I won. And then our last fight was full Thai. So that was the first full Thai fight that we've had together.
Yeah. And with your King in the Ring with the welterweight, do you know much about the other 7 fighters that you could be potentially be fighting on the night?
Yeah, well, I've seen a few of them come up in the ranks, like over the years. I mean, everyone's actually pretty solid in there, so it's going to be a good 8-man. Like, yeah. Mm.
Have you got a game plan for all of them, or you just do what you do best and just whatever happens?
Yeah, well, I don't have a specific game plan for everyone. I'm just kind of just got a game plan for myself, really.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do when I get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so training's going really well. So just looking forward to getting in there and doing it. It's been a long prep, especially with my fighting 4 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
it's kind of 2 preps in a row.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you find that because you had a fight, so by the time you fight King Ring, I think it'll be 6 weeks since your last fight. Do you find that fighting regularly helps you, or would you have preferred to have a bit more longer of a break to prepare for it?
Yeah, well, I would have liked a longer break. I mean, 6 weeks out, fighting Kane in a 5-rounder. Could have gone a lot worse. So, yeah, but luckily I don't have any major injuries or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, in this case, I think it has helped me. It's definitely fighting regularly, because then I fought back in, I think it was mid-March as well. I had another fight, so it's been good keeping regular, and I think coming into this 8-man, I'm going to feel real good and, just comfortable in that ring.
Yeah, definitely. So, mate, come Saturday, the 29th of June, what can the fans expect from the Shank?
Can expect heaps of high work rate, and just the best Shank that they've seen to date. So yeah.
Excellent, mate. Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. And I know you love to indulge in all the foods that you can't eat while you are cutting weight and intensive training for stuff like this.
Yeah.
So what's the first thing you'll be eating after weigh-in, and what's the first thing you're going to eat after fight night?
First thing after weigh-in, will probably I'll be on the fluids for a few hours, just drinking, maybe a bit of fruit. But then probably head to Burger Fuel, or yeah, maybe Burger Fuel. Something like that. But then after my fight, I'll probably head straight to Krispy Kreme. Donuts. I usually go there after my fights, so that's my Sunday stop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had Krispy Kremes on Friday, and they were good. I had a chocolate and custard donut and the M&M's one, and the M&M's, mate, delightful.
Yeah, I haven't been able to try the M&M's one because I've been fight prepping, but I'm hoping they've still got them when my fight's finished.
I've got this mental picture of you going shopping and like just filling up your trolley with all like chocolates and lollies and the good stuff that you can't eat.
Yeah, I usually do that. I usually do it like on Weight Cut week. I usually go buy a lot of junk that I can just indulge in for after.
Now, mate, I know you're definitely not looking past King in the Ring, but is there anything else lined up on the horizon that you can tell us about or that you have planned?
Not at the moment. After King in the Ring, I know Baby's got a few fights lined up, but I'm probably going to have maybe 3-4 months off from getting in the ring and hopefully get in the end of the year, maybe October, November. I'm hoping to get to Australia sometime. That would be cool. Yeah, but I was planning to have a bit of a bit of ground game and wrestling after this fight, just for a few months or so, and hopefully get in the cage too at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. Now, if people want to follow you, stay up to date with what's happening with you fight-wise, how can people follow you? Like Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff?
Yeah, my Facebook name is Sam Hill. It's got a photo of me. Yeah, so there's probably heaps of Sam Hills. But, yeah. But, and my Instagram is Sam the Shank. Sam the Shank.
At Sam the Shank?
Yeah.
Awesome, mate. And last, but certainly not least, anyone that you want to thank or give a shout out to?
Just everyone who's helped me over the years. My old trainers at Smack Gym, Tori, Francis, and Paul. My new trainers at City Kickboxing, Eugene and Doug. They've looked after me real well and made me feel at home moving to another gym, so thank you. And my partner, Baby, just for all she does with me, my pad work and just putting up with my shittiness when I'm cutting weight, and she's the best. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Well, I'm certainly a little Sam the Shank fanboy, so I can't wait to watch your fight. And like I said at the start, I hope some promoters take note and get you over here in Australia, because I reckon any fight with Sam Hill's going to be a banger, and whoever you fight, they know they're going to be in for 3 or 5 hard rounds because you're not going anywhere. So thanks very much for your time, mate. Appreciate it. And,
no worries. Thank you.
And best of luck with King in the Ring. I'll be watching with me with a pay-per-view. So thanks for your time, bud.
Cool. No worries.
Investigate the lives of great warriors, revered and notorious, infamous and legendary. That to me is glorious. Come kick it, still talk some shit with me. I'll answer, you can answer and explain to me the history. I had to throw a vicious knee. I got a passion for the art of 8 limbs. I'm just asking from the heart. So as I conclude this interview, thanks so much for sitting through. Loved all the fighters and the folks that listen. This for you.